This creature had never harmed a human, yet it had been locked in a dungeon by monster hunters for 3 years. Enduring 50 lashes every single day, once feared by everyone, it was beaten into a being that now lived in terror of humans. Today was the day John planned to execute it, and he assigned the task to Lucas. Expecting certain death, the monster was surprised when Lucas not only refused to hurt it but even bit a pair into pieces and fed it to him. For the first time, the monster experienced kindness, and it devoured the pair eagerly. Seeing the creature's innocent reaction, Lucas couldn't bring himself to kill it. Instead, he took a great risk and set it free. Freedom was something the monster never thought it would see again. But as it made its escape, it suddenly paused. It knew that if it left, Lucas would face severe punishment. Lucas, however, urged it to keep moving and not look back. Finally, the monster broke out of the dungeon that had held it for 3 long years. It carried Lucas's compassion deep in its heart, vowing to repay his kindness one day. It didn't take long for John to discover the monster was gone. He ordered his men to recapture the creature and also put a bounty on Lucas's head. But Lucas was no fool. He and his wife had already retreated deep into the mountains, far from anyone's reach. Their peace, unfortunately, was short-lived. John's men eventually tracked them down. To protect his wife from harm, Lucas surrendered without resistance. He was then sealed inside a coffin to be transported back to the royal city for punishment. On the journey, however, the group encountered a road blocked by piles of rubble. Among them was a highly skilled warrior named Owen. Though he appeared slender, he possessed incredible strength and fists hard enough to smash the heavy stones with ease. What they didn't realize was that the road had been blocked intentionally, a rescue attempt for Lucas. But faced with Owen's power, the rescuers had to fall back and rethink their strategy. When night fell, the group settled into an inn. The staff there were unusually welcoming, even offering free foot baths. They also arranged for 2 strong, charismatic women to perform a Persian dance. Wyatt, especially pleased with the arrangement, invited the dancers to share a drink with him. He had always had a soft spot for tough, bold women. But little did they know, the innkeeper, the staff, and even the other guests were all there to rescue Lucas. Wyatt wasn't worried, though. He had the incredibly powerful Owen by his side. But Owen was purely a close combat fighter. He had no way to avoid long-range attacks, and once he was taken down, the rest fell instantly. Just as they were about to open the coffin to free Lucas, a storm suddenly erupted outside the inn. Thunder crashed and lightning flashed. Something terrifying seemed to be approaching. Everyone grew nervous, wondering what was happening. Then, a dark cloud crackling with electricity swept into the inn, and out of it emerged a cute-looking little monster. Anna was curious where it came from. Charmed by its appearance, she even reached out a finger to touch it. But she soon discovered this creature could unleash electric shocks, and it wasn't nearly as harmless as it looked. With an angry roar, the monster summoned a thick black mist around itself and transformed into a gigantic beast. Despite its enormous size, it moved with surprising agility, climbing around the inn's interior like a giant ape. Strangely, it didn't hurt anyone, it just kept roaring at them, almost as if telling them to drop their weapons. But instead of backing down, the crowd kept provoking it, unaware the monster meant no harm. Inside the coffin, Lucas woke up to the sound of the monster's aggressive cries. He shattered the wooden box and leaped out, saving one of his friends at the last second by placing himself between them and the monster. When the creature saw Lucas safe and sound, it immediately shrank back into its small, gentle form. After all these years, the two were reunited. Overwhelmed with emotion, the monster teared up. Lucas reached out to shake its hand like old times, but the monster pulled away. It had spent years hiding from humans, and bitterness had taken root. If it hadn't heard Lucas was in danger, it would never have returned. Now sure that Lucas was okay, it prepared to leave. Many hunters were still on its trail.